want to briefly introduce one of our guests, the lovely marketing maven, the seven-figure brand builder, content creator, host of the Ghetto CEO podcast, highlighting the triumphs and challenges of entrepreneurship, and an amazing auntie, Miss Monrae.
Yes.
Thank,
Hey, y'all.
thank you so much for joining us. Today we're doing a live gameplay of inHUEmanity, which is a thought-provoking card game and discussions to bring about, good conversations, hard conversations within our community and give a safe space to have that dialogue, if that makes sense. So how the game works is you roll the dice, and there's three categories. There's society, religion, and spirituality, and politics. So once I roll the dice, I'll pick a card from that category, and then you'll kind of speak on your experience based on what the card asks or says.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll get started, and like I said, Larry will hop in when he gets here. So let's see what the first category will be.
I'm scared.
It's definitely one of those thought-provoking games. Okay, we have B, which is religion and spirituality. Okay. Okay. In what ways do your religious or spiritual beliefs align with your beliefs in justice and equality?
Oh, this deep. Okay, so what way? I need to phone a friend. What way does my spiritual beliefs align with justice and equality? I actually have never thought about that before. Um, I think my spiritual beliefs, I am a Christian. I believe in God. I love God. So I am very vocal about my relationship with God and what he has done in my life. And for justice and equality is, I'm about black people. I'm all things black, so there's there's the alignment because I feel like, from a spiritual standpoint, we are the ones.
There you go.
So we were the first, the head, not the tail. Okay. So I would say that is how I feel like it aligns.
Okay, it's a direct alignment there. I definitely agree with that. Okay, let's just jump right in and go to the next category. A, society. So let's see. I think you're going to like this one. Let me show the audience. And guys, please share the live. And definitely, if you have something to contribute your opinion in the comments, we would love to hear it. I think you're going to like this. Do you hold Black-owned businesses to a higher standards in regards to services, goods, and atmosphere compared to non-Black-owned businesses? Explain your perspective.
That is a good question. I don't hold them to a higher standard because we are all the same. I hold everyone to the same standard. So if I walk into Chick-fil-A, I should have the same experience when I walk into Auntie's mom and pops. You know what I'm saying? So I think that we all should try to strive to be better. I honestly probably subconsciously hold them to a lower standard, I would say, because I'm a little bit more graceful with our people. I'm just like, okay, I know they running over. They don't got their operations together, like, okay, so especially being in Atlanta, like, it's a lot of Black-owned businesses here. So, like, restaurants and stuff like that, it's hard. Keith Lee was not lying. So, I was,
At all.
I would say, yes. So I would say yes, lower if anything. So, that's what I would say.
Okay, perfect. I definitely can understand that perspective. And a lot of people feel like, hey, when it comes to resources, there is an inequity. So you have to kind of factor that in when you're talking about Black businesses. You have to factor in the resources and the inequity and things of that nature when like you said, even at a lower and more grace, 100%.
More grace, for sure.
Okay. And anybody that wants to join in from the audience, you're welcome to, because we are waiting on our last guest. C. Okay. Let me see. We got a politics card.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. Show the audience. And which form of racism do you feel is most detrimental? Covert racism or overt racism? And explain your perspective.
Can I have the definitions, please?
Yes. Covert racism, absolutely. Covert racism will be considered more like silent, more passive. Overt racism is the Confederate flags, the very, very outwardly racism. Which do you think is more detrimental?
Okay, so I'm gonna say the covert.
Okay.
Cause I feel like if I know you, I can handle you the way that I need to handle you if I know who you are. But if you like being fake about it and you not standing on business, you racist, you racist. Like we ain't got a vibe, you know what I'm saying? So either stand on business or don't. So I think it's like the silent type of thing where it's like, oh, let me touch your hair, or like, oh, you could do that. I didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like you grew up in a 2-parent household. Your dad is
You're
in jail, like that
so
stuff.
articulate.
Yes, you are pretty for a dark skinned girl. You know, so like that. I think it's just because my philosophy in life is that I can handle everything. I can understand people's perspectives. I just cannot handle delusion. And so if you are delusional, because most of the people that's like in the covert racism, I think they're just a little bit delusional. Like they don't even understand what they doing, you know? And so it's kind of like, now I want to fight you.
And if you can't understand where you went wrong, how are you going to change it? So it is very
Exactly.
detrimental. It's
Yes.
very detrimental.
Yeah.
I agree. And let me see in the comments, Bayou Lex said like Trump versus Biden. A lot of people do feel that one is covert and one is overt, and it still echoes the sentiment of racism in many ways. So it's definitely a difference, but one is more detrimental than the other. I agree.
Absolutely.
Okay. These are some great questions already. B, we're back in religion and spirituality.
Oh, right.
Okay. In what ways do you feel religion or spirituality contributes to the advancement of our community? In what ways do you feel it may hinder our community?
I would say, I feel like the advancement of the community is because, once again, like I said, there is nothing that I personally feel like I can do without God. My relationship is the forefront of my business, my personal, whatever. So he has already designed our paths and our plans and our journey. So you have to be in alignment with what that looks like. As far as it, I think if you don't, and my thing is, I am also a very understanding person. Once again, I understand everything. I can see your point of view. I just can't do delusion. So I'm okay with you having a different religion, or like I might not agree with it, but I'm okay with it. Like that is your choice. You have the opportunity to be able to do that. Like I made my choice, you get to make your choice too. So I think for me, it's more so of when I see people that's like, I don't believe in anything. That kind of be like, you just out here free balling. Like that's just like to me,
Not
I'm
free
like,
balling.
damn, yeah, like that feel more scary than like being able to hold on to something. You know
Not
what I'm saying? So,
having something there, right?
like, who is keeping you in a line? Your own. Like, I know it's a lot of things that if I had to decide what I had to do, I would not go with, what the biblical scripture is saying. But some things you gotta kind of like, you gotta have a road of alignment. Like, you gotta have a moral compass. And I feel like when you don't believe in nothing, you ain't got no moral compass. You can just do whatever. You are your own moral compass, and I ain't got it. I can't do it.
Something has to be from your perspective has to be influencing that. 100%. Yeah. Okay. Okay, definitely. And like I said, you can join the live, share the live. Just if you want to be a part of the conversation, we are definitely welcoming you. Um, okay. Share. Okay, we're sorry. Let me show the dice. We're back in religion and politics. We have a lot of little religious questions. Have you experienced your traumas being dismissed in our community with prayer or the suggestion of it as a remedy? If yes, what was your experience and how did it make you feel?
Ask that question again.
Have you have you ever experienced your traumas being dismissed in our community with prayer or the
Oh,
suggestion
like you should just
of it?
pray about it.
Yes.
Oh, let me think if I've ever experienced it. I feel like my mom was very open about anything that I wanted to talk about. So I think that she allowed me to have conversations, but I do think like society or like, sometimes in church it's just like, okay, just pray, just talk to God about it. But it's like, nah, this really hurt. Like I need to talk to a therapist.
Yeah.
Like me and God, we got that conversation, but I need to talk to an actual, person too, right? So
Right.
I think that that is a thing that happens in church, and yes, somebody said it. Older people are very known for this because they did not address their traumas. And I think now millennials and Gen Z, we like in the age of like, let's address what's really wrong with us and figure out how to be the best version of ourselves instead of just walking around with all this baggage and then giving it down to passing it down to our kids, passing it down to all of these people. And it's like, let's just figure it out. So I think even sometimes I do it unconsciously though. Like instead of like I need to talk about this, I'd be like, I'm just gonna pray about it and hope it comes. You know what I'm saying? Versus like just really hope, having a direct conversation with people or like really figuring out the solution.
Right. That's an amazing perspective because you're right. It takes action behind that prayer too. So when you just dismiss that and say, hey, let's pray about it,
Yeah.
what's actually going to get you to where you need to go? And I think that this generation, like you said, is very hands-on with those topics, and we're not sweeping things under the rug in this
No.
generation at
No,
all.
not at all.
We're
Not at
done with
all.
that.
Yes, and I think we even looking at our counterparts a little sideways, like you don't go to therapy, like
Right.
you don't figure it out. So you still, especially, don't have friends, and by the time you get to 30, 40, whatever, you got friends. When I meet people that's like 40 plus and they still got traumas they still ain't dealt with, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like,
Like
why
how?
don't you? How are you sitting here with all of this weight on your shoulders? Like, because you won't deal with your trauma, like ew. It's like a spirit. It's like a bath. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't go take a bath. Would you not take a bath for 40 years? So why not clean your inside?
You gotta clean
We gotta keep it
that
together.
energy. You're correct.
Yes.
And it almost makes you ask, like, okay, is this a choice?
Yes.
You know what I mean? After a
Yep.
while, is it a choice?
Yep.
So that's very interesting. Let's go on to C. This is politics. Describe what you think the world would look like if everyone in it were white. And then describe what you think the world would look like if everyone in it were us.
Mm. That is so funny. If everybody in the world was white, I feel like they would like not have it would just be a little bland. You know what I mean? Like, cause a lot of the culture stuff, we create culture. So I would just imagine, and I'm like, dang, I don't want to be like that though. But like I feel like we are the culture setters. They just propagate what we have. You know what I'm saying? So I think that it would just be a little bit bland. But I do think that they would find someone else to be the minority.
Okay.
Because like I feel like I'm like, is this live safe?
This is
I feel
a safe place.
like I think that sometimes white people have to feel like they are in the authority. You know
Okay.
what I mean? So even if we are no longer there, somebody will be the minority. You know what I'm saying? They have
Within
to
their
feel
own group.
correct. So
Okay.
it's either, even though we got the prestige white and we got the lower class white, like they will still create some type of classism. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that that's just what they are. But I think it's a people thing. I think like people feel like they have to, because we even have that in the black community. Like everybody ain't equal. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like you will kind of see people say, yeah, I got black people and you got niggas. You know what I'm saying? Like who you hanging around? You know what I'm saying? So I think that you kind of gotta like figure it out. They will kind of figure it out on that side. But if all the people in the world were black, I think we would have the same problems. I think you need a mixture. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? I think I like staying in Atlanta. Like I like staying and being around a lot of black people. I know I went to I don't know. Oh, I went to Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Like, ain't no black people here. Like, what is happening?
I
You
heard
know?
that about Austin.
Yeah, like I'm like, what is going? So it was very new for me because I'm actually from Memphis.
Okay.
So like I'm just used to black people, like being around me, you know. So I think that it would feel different, you know, because there is a. I wish that we could change the way that the world was, but I don't think it should be all black or all white.
Okay.
So
That's definitely an interesting perspective. And then, like you were saying, if there would still be some type of classism involved, there would be some type of hierarchy. It's just human nature,
if
pretty
even
much.
if we think about it in Africa, that's still a classism. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like somebody got to be the top. Just
Right.
the way like you said, human nature. Like human nature is somebody got to be the best.
Right. Survival of the fittest, as they say.
No, literally.
We back in religion.
Okay.
Okay.
What y'all think? Let me know what y'all answer is.
Yeah, I want to see what the comments. I know y'all really enjoying the conversation, but you're able to. Let me see somebody in the
I'm
comments that
cracking
said something.
up. Somebody said there would be no liquor, no airplanes, no traffic lights, no electricity.
No electricity. Clock it. Clock
No,
it. It wouldn't be any of
no,
that. There'd be none of
literally,
that.
literally. And that's the thing. Like I think I just wish that we were just appreciated for our role in society. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we give a lot to this world and this earth and our livelihoods and I just don't think that, we've been appreciated for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And
It
someone
kind of was
said,
like y'all was supposed to do that. Like, I didn't ask to come up
there you go. And somebody said, we work on a system of chain and command. Yeah, we do. Like human nature. Okay, so this next question from spirituality and religion is, have you ever felt as though, ooh, have you ever felt as though your religious or spiritual beliefs were superior to the beliefs of others? Explain your perspective, like other
here.
religions and other beliefs.
So I don't think they're necessarily like, okay, because I have friends and a brother that I feel like he's just, if he got this question, he'd be like, hell yeah, but like I said, I'm a very logical person. So I feel like if you were born into a Muslim family and you grew up Muslim and you died, would that not, like, is it your fault that you was a Muslim? You know what I'm saying? Like, in my
Mm-hmm.
mind, that's like how it works. And I also don't put limitations on God,
Right,
and that's my own perspective, so I don't feel like he ain't gonna figure that out, you know what I'm saying, and get you wherever he needs you to be,
right,
because you are his child as well. So my perspective is just like, I don't think that we're superior to anyone, but I think that we are the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, God is where we need to be at. Hang out. Y'all need to come over here. But I don't think it's necessarily a superior thing. I think it's more so of like, because like I said, I just don't put limitations on God. If you are born into a family, I chose to be a Christian after I was born into a Christian family. You know what I'm
right.
saying? Like, I gave myself the opportunity to explore my own relationship with God outside of just being. I grew up in church, but in college, I actually explored. I went to church on my own. I had my own conversations with God, and I developed my own relationship with Him. So I think that if I can't say that if I was born into a Muslim family or Islamic family like that, I wouldn't have been Muslim. Like, I can't say that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just don't put limitations on God, but I don't think that my religion is superior.
Okay. And I think that's part of having grace and love within your religion, to realize that you're like you said, you're not feeling better than anybody, and you feel like everybody comes to their conclusion and their relationship with God in that special way.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody said something in the comments. Let's see. You can have spiritual beliefs, but it's all based on how you carry yourself as an individual and what you represent as a species. Okay.
I think
Definitely.
that that's a good point, because if I felt like I was superior, then I'm not following what God told me to do.
There you go.
You know what I mean? He told me to love my neighbor, and that is my neighbor regardless of their spiritual preference. But it also talks about in the Bible how God, when he comes back, he's going to give them the opportunity to come. You know what I mean? So, like, why am I trying to figure it out?
Right.
He already got
Are you playing God at that
exactly.
point? You know.
Clearly, he got a plan.
Right.
Why am I trying to orchestrate anything? So I might as well just do what I know that I'm supposed to do. And I think that a lot of times we just be trying to do too much. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it doesn't it don't got nothing to do with nothing. He got it. He didn't need me to create this world. He don't need me to figure out all the solutions. He don't need me. He got the solution already.
Period. I love that. Let's go. Oh, back to no society questions. The society questions are juicy. So we're gonna go. I guess we're gonna go right back to religion and spirituality.
Okay.
Okay. So, what are your perspectives on the potential relationship between religion and the alleged self-oppression among our people?
Mm-hmm. Okay, tell me what you mean by that.
What are your perspectives on the potential relationship between religion and the alleged self-oppression among our people? I think that this card is saying there's a relationship between religion and how we have self-oppressed, like how we have moved in our own community. Basically, religion in many respects was given to us, if that makes sense. Um, Given to the Black community or the Black experience. So I think they're asking, what's your perspective on that relationship? Do you think that do you think that that's where it came from?
Mm.
That's pretty deep.
Yeah, it is deep. I mean, to be honest, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like I never thought about it, so I don't know if I could articulate a really good answer for that. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay. We getting a lot of let me get a society.
Right.
Okay, we're back in politics.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the possibility of a political conspiracy related to Dr. Sebi's death? This is politics.
Say that one more time.
What are your thoughts on the possibility of a political conspiracy related to Dr. Sebi's death? They believe that there's a theory that he was assassinated because of his stance against the pharmaceutical companies.
Let me say something. I don't put nothing past the government. So I mean, cause it's I watch Scandal. Okay, guys, I know what's going on this way. But I feel like I really, honestly, I really do not put it past because I don't feel like we even know everything that happens in the government, the powers that be, like all of that stuff. It's a lot of stuff we just ain't even supposed to be knowing. You know what I'm saying? So I do
Yeah.
feel like I don't put it past them because the pharmaceutical industry is a big industry. So if you was coming for their billions of dollars, I don't put it past them. They done did more for less.
There you go. There you go. And that's a fact. That is a fact. And then when you are talking billions of dollars, it's nothing to make. Let me silence this. Let me get this out of the way because this is a machine that's going to work when the powers that be are gone. It's going to go from generation to generation. It's billions of dollars that you're talking about. So, like you said, we cannot put it past. We don't know, but you can't put it
And
past.
we don't know what backdoor deals and all kind of stuff they got going on. Like, I don't know, y'all. Like I said, I watch Scandal, so I know. I know. No, I'm just playing. But you know, a lot of things people be having other stuff going on. They great grandfathers may have made a deal with the other great grandfather, so this can't happen and this, you know. So I think there's a lot of stuff we're not privy to. And I think that, you know, anytime somebody tries to come against what they built, you know, I don't think that it's something that they like.
Yeah, I definitely can agree with that. Perfect. We got a society question. Let's see. Okay. Do you engage in code switching?
Do I engage in code switching? I don't think I'm put in a I don't think I'm put in enough situations to code switch.
Okay.
Like, I think that, huh? Oh, you think I code switch? Oh, I'm about to say I don't be code switch.
Because
Shit,
like
I
you
be
said, you
busting
live in a
Oh
black
yeah.
metropolis. You
Yeah,
live in
so like I don't even with so I started my business at
okay.
19. So I was in college. I never went corporate. So I never even experienced what that looked like, you know. And I have an uncle that actually works in marketing in a corporate company. And I think it's just so funny the stuff that he has to go through or like that he experiences that I don't experience on the outside, right? And so when I talk to my clients, I talk to my clients just like this, you know, and they actually appreciate my authenticity, you
I
know.
love your
So
accent. I love
yeah. Thank you. So
it.
I think that I just never been placed in the place where I had to code switch. Even my high school was probably 50% white. Like a lot of our teachers were white. I ain't care nothing about that. You know, so I never changed. I did not go to HBCU. I went to a predominantly white school, but you wouldn't know until it was game day because it was just black people everywhere. So,
Wow. And this was in
so
Memphis? Did you go to college in Memphis?
no, I went to Southern Miss in
Okay.
Mississippi. And you know, it's so funny because a lot of people think, and y'all probably think this too, that Mississippi has a lot of white people. Mississippi has one of the highest black populations.
Wow.
And it's
Wow.
a lot of black people in Mississippi. So I say that to say that I just always been around black people. And I honestly feel a little uncomfortable sometimes when I'm around too many white people because I just don't know what's going on.
And you're used to being around just black excellence on different levels, which is a
Yeah,
beautiful
for
thing.
sure.
And somebody in the comments asked, what is code switching? I'm so sorry. Let me explain what code switching is. It's changing your behavior in predominantly white social settings to fit in with the expectations and behaviors commonly associated with whiteness. So say, I'm talking to my homegirl one way, and then I go to work, and the customer service voice that people reference. That this is my customer service voice. That's code switching to be able to kind of blend into different environments
I
of
feel like the only place I code switch is in emails.
email.
Cause I feel like I might have to gather somebody up. But that's probably the only place.
Swiftly
But I
and
think
professionally.
yes, and I think it's not code switching because it's like just a professional voice. You can have the way that you talk to your friends, and I don't talk to my mama the same way I talk to my boyfriend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
there's different types of conversations.
Right.
So I don't necessarily think that unless you're intentionally like, oh, let me act white because the white people coming. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
unless it's intentional, I think it's where your heart posture is. If you just being a little bit more professional, I think that's okay.
Yeah. And again, your audience might not in those emails even be white, but that's still professionalism amongst yourself
Yes.
and your people. So no, code somebody asks is code switching a bad thing. No, it's not. It's just a different the way you're carrying yourself in different situations. And like you said, you're not gonna talk to your mom the same way you talk to your boyfriend, your boo. So
Yes.
it's definitely necessary in a lot of ways. Okay, society. And again, if anybody wants to join, you're welcome to.
Y'all come up on this live and play with me. Y'all got me on
Right.
the hot seat.
I want to hear from who's in these comments is giving us good energy. Yalika, I'm so sorry, Allure Beauty, if I ruined that name, if I butchered that name, but I want you to come up. Yeah. Okay, so next question is society. In your opinion, politics.
Okay.
In your opinion, should we discontinue or continue discussing slavery? Explain your perspective.
That's a good question. Why we can't discuss it? That's my answer. Like, what's the problem? Why y'all mad?
Clock
Y'all
it.
did it.
Clock it. Clock it. Clock it.
You know,
Clock
so
it.
I think it's like we don't say, okay, well, because it's like, okay, y'all, we've heard enough about it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of what we hear. But it's like we heard enough about Christopher Columbus. We don't heard enough about all of these other. So why do we have to not discuss what our actual history is because it makes you uncomfortable?
Right. Okay, Larry has joined us.
Thank
What
Welcome
up?
you,
in,
What up?
Larry.
Larry.
Get me off the hot seat.
You
I hear
held it
you.
down. First of all, you held it down. Thank you.
Okay, nah, for
I
sure.
mean, it was just us for a little bit.
Nah, for sure. You know, I won't leave y'all hanging now.
Period.
Thank you so much for joining. Can I introduce you, Larry?
Let's do it.
All right. We have today a natural entrepreneur, a father, an artist, a producer, a mental health advocate, a talk show host of Sanders Says, a former Milwaukee Buck, and the current Big Three League member, Larry Sanders.
Yeah.
Welcome in.
Okay, you made me sound real good. I like
Okay,
that.
shit. It was
Yes,
giving Big Larry, not the little one.
Big Larry. In the
Oh
Big
God.
Three. First of all, let's just say this. I don't know if you guys do your research on the Big Three. Black owned and mental health focused. That's all I want to say about that,
Right.
for sure. So
Thanks.
welcome
Thanks.
in, Larry.
Nah, thank you. Thank you for having me. Let me turn this little light on real quick.
Okay.
The light on. Okay.
Monrae said take her out of the hot seat. So
She
we're
burning
gonna
up too.
Man,
She
shit, I
burning.
was thinking.
She said, why can't we talk about it?
right. Why
Nah,
can't
what's up?
we?
Nah,
So
you
we're
know
gonna
what?
roll the dice.
I,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I like this game though. I just want to say I've seen some clips of it. I was like, oh, this is dope.
Yeah.
It was
Thank you so much.
nah,
Thank you so much. We're really wanting to create a safe space. The game was kind of created like, okay, instead of having like random conversations in front of like a bunch of people, this game you can have discussions amongst your friends, and it just creates that dialogue, that structure that might be on your mind or in your reality that you just, like she said, there's things that you didn't even think of,
right.
and so it's good to ask those questions to start the conversations to build closer to each other,
Mhm.
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, even some of these questions, I can just imagine playing this with my friends. We don't talk about shit like this, So we're not even having these type of conversations. But I also could hear them answer the question as I was like, this is how my brother would feel, or this is how. So I think it's definitely a good opportunity to have different conversations, right?
Right.
Like to really see, you think you in alignment with your friends until y'all start talking about these topics.
Facts.
Clock it, because you'll be really close to somebody and think that you share the same mind until the question's asked and it's like, oh no, I feel this way. It's like, oh, you do. I didn't know that. So it's very interesting.
Be careful
So
what you say.
we are going to roll the dice, and Larry, we definitely will have you answer this next question first.
Okay.
We're going to pull from politics. Okay, in your opinion, are all white people racist? Why or why not?
You came in hot.
Hey,
Listen,
Ben.
that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm gonna say this. I think everybody is racist, and it's okay. And it's okay because I think my race is more superior than every race.
Okay.
That's if that's racist, then I'm racist. And a lot of people are racist. I think the problem is being prejudiced. I think the problem is I want to hurt you because of you're different. I don't want to hurt nobody, but I know my race is more superior. That's racist. I'm racist, and I'm sure other races feel that way too. But we all
Okay.
messed up. We all got our superior, but we all got our fucked up, messed up. I mean, can I curse? My bad.
Yeah, you can.
Okay,
It's a
cool.
safe place.
Okay, for sure. We all got our messed up parts too in our cultures. You know what I'm saying? So I think everybody racist. That's okay.
Okay. And I like what you said. There's a difference between racism and prejudice, and I think some people misuse the word racist.
hmm
And like you said, the
it's like a
prejudice is,
yeah.
yeah, it's very harmful to prejudge and say I want to harm you
hmm
based on what I feel about your race.
Right.
What do you think, Monrae?
Oh damn! I gotta answer. Okay, so
Okay, give me a
I'm
break.
trying to take a
no,
break.
no, no. I'm just playing. Do I think all white people are racist? I don't think all white people are. I feel like a lot of them, but I don't think all white people are racist. I think it really just depends. I feel like it's a learned behavior.
Okay.
Like they are learned because like I said, I went to school in Mississippi, so I could see the white people come to campus and they be cool with the black people, and then they go back home, and then they daddy is like, you shouldn't be talking to them black people, and then they don't like black people no more. You know what I'm saying? So I
Wow.
think it's a learned behavior. A lot of times I don't think people are born racist. Like
Right.
I think you have to learn to be that way or prejudice. I think children like boys, girls, white, black, you know. So I think it's a learned thing.
Yeah. And it's crazy because when you said that, it reminded me of the other day. I was just like holding the door for somebody, and it was like a white baby had like a toddler had came out, and he's like, "Hey, hey!" And his parents are like, "Get over here!" Like, and it just made me. I was like, "Wow, it's really learned," because that baby was full of love. He didn't know the difference between white, black, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it definitely shows you that it's taught.
Right.
So
For
okay,
sure.
so we got one from society. Okay, that was like an action card. Okay. In your opinion, can a person of our community be pro-Black while also engaging in interracial dating? Explain your perspective.
Larry?
Go ahead now. Go ahead now. Nah, let me see.
I would say,
Let me see.
I think you could be pro-Black and still love who you love. Like,
Okay.
cause it's like, did I say, oh, I love this person or I'm attracted to this person, so I'm not going to, you know, get in relationship with this person because they not Black, you know? So I think you can. I think you can. But I don't know. All my niggas been Black, so I don't know. So
I noticed
it's all
that
I got.
a lot of black girls that like white men be like really
I said,
natural.
Okay.
yeah.
They really be pro black. They be having a pro. You feel me? They don't be wearing makeup. They be real. They don't do that. You know what I'm saying? They be real. I guess natural. I don't know if that means they pro black because they natural. See, that's one thing too. That's like it's like a play on words. I don't know what pro black really. What's pro black?
Pro-Black to me is making sure that your race, your experience comes first in most situations where you're not afraid, you're not, based on history and the things that you went through in your Black experience, you're not afraid to hone in on what makes you Black, quote unquote Black, or the advancement of that, the family unit, the Black family unit, being able to keep that alive. A lot of people will say is also pro-Black. Just anything that's going to advance.
So interracial couple. Does that go against what you? Does it go against pro black? Because you kind of just said keeping that black family, that core is a part of being pro black.
And a lot of people echo that sentiment, especially Dr. Umar. He
Hmm.
feels like there's no way because it goes against the actual definition to a lot of people. Now, I feel like, you can't, there's duality in a lot of things. So,
I feel like we're not in the state. I feel like we in a self. We need to be in more of a selfish state. We need to kind of be more in like stay with each other, build our community up, create our ecosystem, and then we can spread out because every other culture does that. Every other race does. They stick together. They build up with each other. They're selfish. They only go to school with each other. And I think we had that, right? We had it at one point, and I think we were thriving. And then were like, oh, we're gonna integrate you. We're gonna stop segregation. And I think they portrayed it as if it was beneficial to us. But I think that it was probably the worst thing that could happen to us.
detrimental.
Yeah, I think
Detrimental.
it probably the worst thing that could happen to us because we were building up on our own. And yeah, I don't think we asked to come to school with y'all. We asked for better books.
Yeah.
We just wanted better bathroom, better equipment. You know what I mean? Get treated better. We didn't want to. You know what I mean? I think that that was just a way to like derail us.
To derail that focus. Now I'm putting you in our environment, and now you're spending all of your time proving yourself.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So, I would say stick it out. We need to create that community, stay together, be a
yeah,
little more selfish. Um,
a few people feel like you love who you love, and there are people who I've seen who are pro-Black, but they are in interracial relationships by proximity. Maybe they went to different, schools that was predominantly like, I see those situations too. So it's definitely an interesting, sticky conversation for that.
right.
All right, we're back at religion and politics. Okay. Okay, have your religious or spiritual beliefs ever led you to harbor feelings of hatred towards or to feel better than a person of a specific group or a specific group of individuals? Has your religious or spiritual beliefs ever led you to harbor feelings of hatred towards other groups?
Not me, no. I'm very, I follow, I'm believing Jesus. So I'm a compassionate first, and there's patience, there's kindness, but compassion is the most important, even to those who harm you. Like, and what I'm learning, because I studied religious studies, was my major for a little bit in college, and I learned a little bit about Buddhism, and I like Buddhism as well. That's just understanding that you have so much power within yourself, and which is true. Jesus was always teaching that as well. So there's just a lot of crossover when it comes to teaching and religion and spirituality and beliefs. And the segregation is where people try to divide and conquer. But there's a lot of dualities. There's a lot of commonalities between a lot of it. And you know, I think the most important thing is compassion. When certain groups don't exude compassion, I feel that's when I just don't resonate with them.
Okay.
So that's just me.
But it doesn't, it's not a harbored hatred. You have that compassion, and it would actually be against what you
Hmm.
believe to harbor that hatred. I see what you're saying for sure.
Hmm.
I mean, I agree. I kind of answered this question earlier about the whole like, do I feel like my religion is superior to other religions? So I think that I've never, I feel like my religion hasn't caused me to hate anybody, but I think that's my own personal thing. That has nothing to do with my relationship with God. It's
Okay.
actually opposite of what he's telling me to do. So it is my
That's usually
flesh.
it.
Yeah, like
Right.
it's my flesh that's
Yeah.
doing it. Not my it has nothing to do with my spirituality.
Okay. I definitely agree with that. Anybody in the comments? Who's this saying? Jehovah, Grandma. I'm trying to figure out what's the vibe in the comments. How do y'all feel? Somebody shouting you out, Larry, Antoine.
What's that?
Okay.
What it do?
Somebody said somebody they're a Freemason. I don't know a whole lot about Freemasons, but um, is that a form of religion technically?
No, no,
Okay.
If they got
it's the
scripture,
organized
art,
group.
what makes you a religion? Scripture, art, and region. I think they probably are religion. I mean, just by the terminology.
Okay. The next question is from society. It is the opinion of some non-black individuals that our people have a victim mentality in regards to our treatment in America. As a member of our community, what are your thoughts on this sentiment, and how do you perceive the term victim mentality?
Yeah, I think it goes against. I mean, if you believe in like purpose, grand purpose, everything plays out for the good. Everything's a blessing or a lesson. Then victim mentality goes against that. Like you can't feel like a victim if you know everything gonna work in your
Yeah.
favor. And say you can't even play like that. So yeah. I don't believe in the victim mentality. Like I understand at one point we were victims and people, that should be acknowledged and respected. And I think that to understand where we are, because I always say this, I give my people the benefit of the doubt because we a few generations removed from slavery. So we was just we was just slaves. So generations, it takes time. The man being removed from the family for so many hundreds of years, the black man, and now I go be a dad. I'm a better dad than my dad was. He was a better dad than his dad, and his dad was a slave.
Right.
His dad wasn't allowed to be a dad. You know what I mean? So just think about that generationally, the timeline of that. And I think we're doing great. Just being really, you know what I mean? I think we're doing amazing. We just gotta give ourselves the benefit of the doubt because there are food deserts, there are droughts, there are places, they're maliciously trying to suppress us mentally and physically and spiritually. So with that going on, and us 4 generations removed from being captives, I think we're doing pretty good. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
definitely echo that sentiment because I was just having this conversation with someone where we can talk about slavery, and that wasn't that long ago, but there was an entire recent genocide, which was the 80s and 90s with the war on drugs, like that completely destroyed our community as well. So for us to be able to be resilient and bounce back, like you said, it was not that long ago when you really think about it. So
right.
definitely. Anything you have to add to that, Monrae?
No, I don't got
Okay.
nothing.
She
Okay.
tired. You gotta ask her all
Look,
these questions now.
she held it down.
I
She
know.
held it down.
I feel like Larry held it down. He had it.
Yeah, no. Again, and that's when you realize there's so many similarities in our mentality too. It's like, okay, you said it exactly how, you
For
know,
sure.
it's meant to be said. We'll do a few more and then we'll take some questions from the comments. Um, okay. How far this is politics. How far back are you able to trace your family's history? Elaborate on the details of your response.
I actually did my African ancestry.
Okay.
And so my family is from Cameroon.
Mm.
And then I got like so curious. I was like, I gotta go over there. I gotta read what they be doing. Do they got like, so I started getting curious about my family history. And so that was from my mother's side. So I would have to get like my grandfather or my dad or something to test my father's side. So I'm curious of where they're from.
Okay.
Is that how that works? You take the test or your mama took how that work?
Because you're a male, you can test for both. But because I'm a
Oh,
female, I can only test on my maternal
oh,
side, and then I have to get a male to test for the
I did not
paternal side.
know that. Now that I didn't
mhm.
know.
I didn't
Okay.
know you. Okay. Yeah, my sister took a test and it came back. A lot of Native American, um, Cameroon was on there,
Not be
Nigeria.
cousins, Larry.
You never ate, nah, come on. It's like same boat, maybe they can float. But and then Nigerian, a lot of Nigerian, but it was a lot of indigenous, a lot of like Native American.
Okay. Yeah. I think for me, I did not do the DNA yet, but I went on ancestry.com and I was able to find my grandfather's draft papers. So I'm a millennial born in the 90s, but my grandfather, there's a big generational gap. So my grandfather was born in 1924. So my great grandfather was born in the 1800s. Like, so it's kind of hard to trace even just my great grandfather, which is only two generations ago.
Right.
But born in North Carolina, my grandfather was drafted at 18 into World War II. So I know for a fact that my family was here in the 1800s, meaning that I am a direct descendant of slavery in North Carolina for sure.
Mm.
So that's as far back as I could trace it, which is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah,
That's
that's
dope.
sweet.
Okay, we'll do one more question. Let's do, okay, that was the blind card. One more, politics. What are your thoughts on the idea that our people inhabited America prior to the era of slavery? That there were people like us here before slavery.
I love that. You know, it's so funny. I was itching to talk about that with the last question, but I was like, let me just not. But I always try to wrap my mind around the fact that Columbus and all these sailors at the time were so advanced, right? They were born sailors. They had been sailing since they were boys. Their father taught them how to sail. Those were the only people on the ocean. You don't play around with the ocean. You
Right.
going out there to sail, trying to find something, you're gonna die, right? So you telling me you got a boatload of novice, injured black slaves on a boat with what food, going where for how long? Make it make sense. Because only people could even travel that far in the ocean from Africa to America were were these very trained, skilled sailors. How
Right.
and you got a boatload of prisoners that survived with disease, famine for months on the ocean. Make it make sense. Back
So your
then,
perspective is there had to be People,
Make it make sense.
yeah,
How much medicine, food, resources do you have? How well are you treating these slaves? You got to be treating these slaves so good, like you treating yourself, for them to even survive across that water, even halfway across that water. And their disease gonna kill you.
right,
You can't even go
right.
check on them. Come on,
That's
man.
an interesting perspective. So
Science.
it makes sense scientifically that there
Yeah,
were people
there
here.
had to be. We all
Yeah.
were here. There were more people here than they brought over.
Okay.
We were all here. But if they tell us that, then what? That's
Then
what I
what?
truly believe.
Okay.
Then it's ours. So then we inherit the land, and then we get all the things that the Native Americans got. But
Okay.
the science to me.
And so you were just having that conversation with somebody.
I
Okay.
was, yeah, I was just talking about
See,
that.
that's
But
what's so great about this game. It's like, again, it's kind of in your subconscious, or there's questions like, I finally wanted that put into a question or a word so we can talk about it.
mhm.
So, anything else you have, Miss Monrae?
I would say, I said this earlier that I don't really do delusion. So
Yes.
I think a lot of the stuff that we have or we're told is from a vantage point of delusion. You know what I mean? And so I think it's just like we just gotta know what we know. You know what I'm saying? Like know you know, and just know they're not gonna be honest about it.
Thanks.
Okay. I agree with that. Okay, perfect. I won't hold you guys too long. Thank you so much for being a part of a much needed conversation and joining us in our first IG Live. Now, everybody that's watching, share the live, follow inHUEmanity, and everybody that follows after this live will be getting a discount code for pre order 20% off. So tell a friend, come by and follow, and we will definitely be doing more gameplays via live. Thank you so much. Monrae, thank you so much, Larry, for joining us on our first, I'll never forget this one. It's our
Yeah.
first IG gameplay. So thank you so much.
So,
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
when I get my game in the mail,
Very soon. Very soon.
that's all I want. All I want is one for myself. I
We
like
got
this game a lot.
you. We
Okay, for
definitely
sure.
got you. So anything else you guys want to say to the audience, or you think you kind of said it all?
Oh, no, I appreciate everybody for pulling up. You could be anywhere in the world, but y'all here with us. So, that's a blessing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And everybody have a great night, and we'll see you. We'll talk to you later. Thank you.